UCLA basketball takes care of business, advances to the Pac-12 championship game. I, on the other hand, have a lot in common with UCLA football. I'm going to go roll over and take a nap. Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. So, I am broadcasting again from Ice Station Alpha in Des Moines, Iowa. We've been broadcasting now for about 3 weeks. If you like the content that we've been providing for you, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's also a notification bell. We try to drop a new video every day at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. West Coast time, something like that. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. We want to spread the gospel of Los Angeles sports, and by all means, comment. I'm not God. I don't know everything. Well, I will say I comment as long as you know what you're talking about. Like earlier this week, a couple of people, they didn't like God knows what ever, and they always end the comment saying the same thing. Sit your ass down. I am sitting down. Matter of fact, I enjoy sitting down. I think a lot of people enjoy sitting down. There's only one thing I enjoy more than sitting down is lying down. And once I'm done with this, I'm going to be in bed, lying off this cold. Sit your ass down. Come on, people. Come up with something better. So, it is March 12th. What happened in sports yesterday and today? UCLA defeated USC in the Pac-12 tournament, 69-59. Both teams likely to go to the big dance, as they like to call it. Meanwhile, over in the NBA, Washington lost. I should say reverse that. The Lakers won. Lakers 122, Washington 59, LeBron 50 points. It's kind of amazing. Anytime the Lakers win now, sports writers refer to it as historic. The effort put forth by LeBron James. If every win you make is historic, you're not in good shape. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. Also, Atlanta beat the Clippers 112-106. Meanwhile, we fast forward to today. UCLA advances to take on Arizona in the Pac-12 title game. The LA Kings travel to San Jose tonight. They'll play at 6:30. 2 MLS games today that we should be having our eyes on. The Galaxy, they'll be playing at Seattle, 12:30. It's a game you can watch on Fox. And LAFC has traveled to Inter Miami. That game, I believe, is going to be 10:30 a.m. on Univision. News and notes before we get to the main topic. Clayton Kershaw has re-upped with the LA Dodgers. It's a 1-year, $17 million deal. You remember when Kevin Brown signed with the Dodgers and for $15 million a year, and everybody thought it was going to be the end of the sport? I guess not. Also in Dodgers news, Trevor Bauer back on, quote, administrative leave by Major League Baseball. Just suspend the guy and get it over with. I mean, just make a decision. This is one of the many reasons I don't like Commissioner Rob Manfred. He's kicking the can down the road on this. Make a decision. Here's why. Because if you make a decision, then all of a sudden Trevor Bauer, here's why he doesn't want to make a decision. Let me rephrase. If you make the decision, Trevor Bauer gains value. How so? It may not be a lot of value, but he gains value. Wouldn't you say? Here's why. Because once there is an end point, once there is a time where he theoretically can pitch again, he becomes an asset the Dodgers can trade. Now, you may sit there and go, oh, James, there's no way he's going to be there's no way anybody's going to trade for him. Oh, really? Look at the NFL. Deshaun Watson hasn't played for a year. He faced a lot of sexual assault charges that were thrown out, just like Bauer faced one that was thrown out. You don't think the Carolina Panthers are working the phones with the Texans trying to get Deshaun Watson? You don't think Seattle is trying to get Deshaun Watson? Oh, Seattle would love Deshaun Watson. He'd fit really quickly. So no, they're kicking the can down the road, and the point is not that I want Trevor Bauer to be, leading the staff, although if the Dodgers choose to do it, that's their call. But you have to come to a decision. You have to make something. Because I can tell you this, right now he has no value to the Dodgers because they can't do anything with him. And they're still paying him. They owe him $60 million over the next couple of years. Now, the courts threw out the case on Bauer because they said, hey, you'll never prove that he assaulted that girl. That's what the court said. So, but I know I can definitely prove that the LA Dodgers didn't assault that girl. Andrew Friedman didn't assault that girl. Dodger fans didn't assault that girl. So what are we talking about? Stop punishing the Dodgers for something they had nothing to do with. Let's move on to UCLA football. I want to talk about their spring program a little bit and their upcoming prospects for the following reasons. I think it's only fair. I talked about USC a couple of days ago. And the UCLA offseason, it fascinates me because they blew it. Wouldn't you say? How do we know they blew it? Because nobody's talking about them. We should be talking about them. They beat the daylights out of USC in the rivalry game last year. It wasn't even close. Their quarterback alone had 6 touchdowns. 6! It blows me away. And they qualified for their first bowl game since 2014. We should be talking about UCLA, but we're not, because they blew it. Here's how. This is a blueprint on how to screw everything up. And I do blame a good chunk of this on Chip Kelly. I do, their coach. Look, 6 Pac-12 teams were bowl eligible last year. 6. There's only one team that didn't play, UCLA. Oh, they were supposed to go to the Holiday Bowl. They pulled out at the last minute. Why? COVID protocols. That many players got caught up in the COVID protocol? That many? We don't even necessarily know if that's true. Your bowl game is your springboard, which you use to jump into the recruiting season. But what has UCLA done in terms of recruiting? This is a senior-dominated team, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with seniors. It means that they have, that they have the experience, that theoretically, that they're more mature, that they won't crack under the pressure that, say, a freshman would. Theoretically. But what happened during the offseason? UCLA, when they didn't play in the Holiday Bowl, they just faded away. And then USC came in and sucked all the air out of the room again because they hired Lincoln Riley. Think about the damage that this has caused to UCLA football. Okay, so they're returning their quarterback, this guy, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, right? He's a senior now. He tested the waters, thought he could be drafted, and the NFL was like, nah, dude, you're not there yet. So he comes back, but they're not sold on him. It may be the most stable quarterback in the Pac-12 South, but they're not necessarily sold on him at UCLA. So who did they want? Well, they wanted this kid from Central Florida, and he actually committed. And they said, nah, on second thought, I think I'm going to go to Oklahoma. Meantime, guess who else they tried to go get? Caleb Williams, who's like, nah, I'm going to USC. USC sucked all the air. USC might have fielded the worst team in their school's history last year, and they still sucked all the air out of the room from UCLA, when it should be the other way around. You guys missed a golden opportunity here. Now, as for the team itself, unless something catastrophic happens during spring or regular practice, I actually think the Bruins are going to be pretty competitive. They brought in a new defensive coordinator, Bill McGovern. He has some NFL experience. They run a 3-3-5, much like SC does. They bring linebackers up to fill in the gaps. Sometimes they even only run 2 down linemen. A lot of nickel coverage. They're going to return 9 seniors on defense. But again, I don't think they're going to... Look, they're called super seniors now. What is a super senior? A 5th-year senior. What's super about that? It either means you weren't good enough for the NFL in the first 4 years, or you didn't graduate in 4. So you want them because they're mature, because they're presumably in the weight room a little longer. Doesn't necessarily mean they're great. And besides that, UCLA was dead and last in the Pac-12 in passing last year. So will they improve on defense? No idea. No. For UCLA to improve, or for UCLA to improve, and trust me, I think they're going to make a bowl game. Their schedule is a cake schedule. They have 9 games against teams that did not go to a bowl game last year. So they're going to be bowl eligible. They're going. That's a fait accompli. And they also only have 1 game in up until late October, so they're going to be at the Rose Bowl a lot. Fait accompli. They're going to a bowl game. But I'm not talking about simply reaching a bowl game. I'm talking about greatness. I'm talking about snatching the title or snatching the mantle from USC, which you guys haven't done. On offense, I don't think Thompson Robinson is going to lead the team. I think it's going to be running back Zach Charbonnet. Wide receivers, you guys look okay. Cam Brown, Logan Loya, the offensive line, there's 4 seniors on it. So again, senior dominated. Theoretically, you guys should be stable. The Bruins definitely should make a bowl game again because their level of competition is lower. 9 teams that didn't make a bowl game. But you missed out. There's just no sugarcoating it. You missed out. Everybody's talking about SC again. If you enjoyed this conversation, feel free to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. Get in on the ground floor. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We will be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is can't even remember who's produced because I'm so effed out on cold meds. To hell with it. We'll see you tomorrow. James, take care.